Yo, let's talk about it. Yo, shout out to everybody here rocking in the building. I salute you guys. I started an hour early. I got some stuff that I'm gonna be doing with the family. So I said, you know what? I gotta do this show tonight. So I'm definitely here rocking my people, man. Shout out to Primos, Ricky Lopez, the numbers, Leon, JP's in the building, Swin Raider, Butters ID, Yo, Johnny OG. Shout out to all my people, man. Make sure you guys wipe them feet. Meaning hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel yet, please hit that subscribe button. Also, shout out to Nephew Prezi, Raider Fanatic, Ron, Bobby H. Man, I see all my people in the building. Mace G. Let's talk about it. Willie Stewart, what's really good? Let me see, man. Darth Vader says, I can't stand McDoodle, but it is what it is. I'm going to tell you right now, Darth, we are definitely at this point stuck with Josh McDaniels. We're going to talk about a few reasons why Mark Davis chose this coaching staff over his players this particular season. It'd be easy, right, to say, it's because of the money. We're paying Del Rio. We're paying John Gruden. He cannot afford, he's cash poor. He can't afford to pay 3 coaches at a time while also paying another 4th coach while they bring him in the mix, right? That's an easy kind of cop out, right? I don't think that don't get me wrong, that could play a part in it, but I definitely do not think that is the main reason why Mark Davis is keeping Josh McDaniels around. I do not. Some other people can direct it towards, they got rings. They come from a winning culture. Yeah, that can definitely play a huge part in why we are favoring Josh McDaniels over especially our veterans, not our rookies, but our veterans, not the young guys, but the veterans that are in win now mode, the Derek Carrs of the world, the Devontae Adams, the Chandler Joneses. At this point, you're 2-7. I would think with all the expectations coming into this season with going out and get Devontae, going out and getting Chandler Jones, a whole new coaching staff, a few hidden gems like Dylan Parham in the draft, Mumford. You would think that going 2-7 in the first 9 games, you're out of here. You're out of here. It's Vegas. You're here to win. It's time to get the hell out of here. But I think it's a lot deeper than that right now, you guys. I definitely do. I know we kind of spoke briefly about it on the last live, but I want to kind of delve a little more deeper into potentially why Mark Davis is really valuing these guys over the players and been bad. Ding, ding, ding. One of the major reasons why Mark Davis is valuing these guys over the players. Definitely. Let's just be honest, you guys. The Raiders culture that we have grown to love, right? The tailgates in Oakland, the tailgates in LA. The bad boys of the NFL, right? The outcasts. We got these guys. Motherfuckers been smoking cigarettes on the sidelines and shit. Let's just be real. Let's just keep it a bean, right? That was the Raiders that a lot of us grew to love, right? At this point, Mark Davis, you guys, had a very, 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 very tough year last year. A lot of people tend to get lost in the sauce and think we went 10-7, out of nowhere. We won a bunch of games at the end of the season that we shouldn't have won, and we snuck in the playoffs, right? And everything is all good. Mark Davis took a major blow to his business and to his reputation last year, you guys. Gruden has been known for kind of being, kind of like a player's coach. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the guys in the locker room love Gruden. You know what I mean? They loved how he operated. You know what I mean? But he took a major hit, man, with the whole Henry Ruggs situation. A young lady, an innocent young lady, and her dog died in a car accident, right? Mark Davis showed up to that funeral. I believe he paid for the entire funeral. Damon Arnett's shenanigans on the internet, pulling out guns and threatening people, right? Then John Gruden with the emails. I mean, there's just so much more shit. The Josh Jacobs, wasn't it a DUI, I believe, at the airport? He crashed. I don't know what that was. I don't know if he did get a DUI. I totally forgot. I know we covered it last year, but there was so much shit that Mark Davis had to put up with last season. I don't know if you guys, a lot of you guys have paid attention to how New England operates, right? But a lot of these guys, man, don't get me wrong, there's been some things. There's been, the Aaron Hernandez's of the world. There's been some things that have coming out, in the media where, they kind of had to address it, right? But a lot of stuff that happened in New England, they kept it in-house. They run a very, very, very tight ship in New England, right? A very, very tight ship. We also have two players right now, with Waller and Max Crosby, that both have dealt with severe substance abuse. I don't know how a lot of you guys feel about this, but losing, you got a lot of money, but losing can lead to something that these guys do not want to go down, another rabbit hole they don't want to go down, right? I get it. Like, you don't want to, I'm not trying to make an excuse for losing at all. I'm not trying to make an excuse for any of this bullshit that we're going through this season. But just listen to me real quick, y'all. Trust me, I'm going somewhere with this, okay? Mark Davis cannot afford to have another season like last year at all. When you got investors, you got so much more shit going on, and your young players, rookie players, are going out here killing people, threatening to kill people. There's so much different shit that he had to, I don't know how he did it, right? I don't know how he did it. Shout out to Rich Bisaccia. I do give him credit. The players did rally around him last year, but we got lucky, you guys. We got lucky sneaking into the playoffs last year. That was not a team built for the playoffs at all. And I think with bringing in Josh McDaniels, bringing in David Ziegler, I think that, the initial interview could have went one way. It could have been, you guys, look, Mark, yes, you guys want a team that can potentially get to the playoffs and potentially win some games, but it starts with the culture. Let us tear this shit down. We'll go out and get some guys in the offseason that'll help you sell some tickets business-wise, the Devontae Adams of the world, the Chandler Jones of the world. We'll make sure that you still sell tickets. For those who don't know, Las Vegas is still the most expensive game in the NFL, the most expensive seat in the NFL, and we are 2-7. We're the most expensive at this point. I'm just saying, he bought in to what these guys were spitting at him. Mark Davis said, you know what it is? This is what we need to do. We need to break this shit down. We need to make sure we watch these guys more, because we see what happened to Henry Ruggs. Look, that was a media shit show, you guys. Not only did Henry Ruggs go out and do what he did, but he was at Top Golf. There was videos, pictures of them drinking and doing all this other shit, right? Like, there's pictures, there's evidence of this kid doing what he was doing before he drove off and got into what he got into, right? That is a media circus in itself. And then Damon Arnett just pretty much took the cake with what he did with just waving guns and telling people he's going to kill him and shit, right? At this point, you have to run a tight ship. And that is the Bill Belichick way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys won't buy into that kind of culture. Let's just keep it a buck. A lot of people are not built for the Patriot way. They're not. But guess what happens when you go to New England? You win. You win. You win. These guys have built sustainable success for years. They have multiple rings. I mean, the list goes, what do they have? 6, 7, 6, I believe, right? He chose this coaching staff, you guys, over what we got going on right now, because let's be real, this whole thing needs to be tore down. Yes, there's a few players that we value and that we're going to keep. The Nate Hobbs of the world, he's definitely going to be here, a hidden gem, 5th round pick out of Illinois. The Max Crosbys of the world, he will be here. We do have a few players on this roster that will not go anywhere. And I think that Nate Hobbs will buy into this culture as well. I think Max Crosby just wants to win. He's going to buy into this culture. You know what I'm saying? There's other players. Devontae Adams just wants to win, you guys. I know a lot of people get wrapped up in this whole Derek Carr and Devontae Adams friendship, but it's deeper than that with Devontae Adams. He wants to win a championship with the team he grew up loving, right? He values winning. He would not have came to the Raiders if Rich Bisaccia was the coach. He probably would not have came to the Raiders if another flunky was here coaching this team. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep this shit a stack, you guys. He came here to win. He's already saying he's bought into the coaching staff. Maybe there's other players that aren't. And maybe Devontae is in a roundabout way kind of speaking about the coaching staff and the whole tank job that we're having this year. Let's, you know, I get it. But y'all, Mark Davis chose the long game over the short game. And we all have to sit back and say, yes, we've been waiting for almost 40 years for another championship. I get it. I get it. I understand. A lot of us, man, feel like, shit, we can die tomorrow and we'll never see this team ever win a championship in our lifetime. But I'm going to be real with you guys, man. At this point, we have to trust the situation. We have to trust. Don't listen to the garbage, with he only kept him because he doesn't want to pay him and another coach. That can play maybe a minuscule part in this shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's not it. Mark Davis is understanding it's time to change the culture. This is no longer, you guys, going to be the Raiders that we used to love. It's not. It's not. This is not going to be the team that we grew to love. This is going to be a different team. It's going to be ran totally different. Look, you already see from the stadium and from, the tailgate situation outside of the J lot. Shout out to my family out there. Shout out to my blackout family. But this is a totally different team. The only thing that still is always going to stand the test of time is the shield. That's it. That's it. The only thing that is going to stand the test of time is this shit right behind me, the shield. Everything else at this point, Mark Davis is saying it can go because we didn't win at the end of Oakland. We deserved one on the way out, you guys. We deserved one. We didn't get it. We didn't get it. We did not get it. And I think at this point, our guys are pretty much just saying, man, it's all about sustaining success for years to come. And at this point, I just think that Mark Davis believes in these guys because of where they come from and the approach that they're taking. Allow them. Listen, you guys, listen. I keep hearing it every day, every single day. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. A lot of us have placed the blame on Derek Carr. A lot of us have placed the blame on defense. A lot of us have placed the blame on Mark Davis. But the majority of Raider fans right now are placing the blame on Josh McDaniels. And rightfully so, because we were hoodwinked, right? We came into this thing thinking we're going to win today. I win this year. And it's not happening. It's not happening. But there is a plan. There is a plan. And they're sticking to it. And I'm here for it, you guys. I'm here for it. If I have to just say, fuck it, man, football is over for me this year, on to next year, where we have a full-length draft, where we have like up to 15 damn draft picks with comp picks and shit like that. If those come into fruition, a full free agency where we can spend some money if we do move on from that Derek Carr contract. There's $30 million, you guys. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep this shit a buck right now. We've seen very, very good things out of Josh McDaniels' offense when he wants to do it. He's shown a lot of bright spots, you guys. We were the number 3 scoring offense, I believe, for many weeks in the NFL this year. There's something there. There's something there. We just have to pump the brakes and be a little bit more patient and allow these guys to go get the guys that are actually going to fit this scheme and take the O and the defense to the next level. You know what I'm saying? It's just real shit. Shout out to Black Sale Sports Talk. You don't tank to get anything other than your QB. See a lot of y'all mocking Hooker in a second, but if you want him, we'll be top 15 pick. I got CJ. I'm not against that either, Black Sales. To be real with you, my brother, I would rather get our quarterback in the first round with that early pick and then go completely defense after that, because there's so many hidden defensive gems in this draft, from corners to safeties to defensive tackles. And we're going to break that shit down later on down the line, my brother. Shout out to Black Sales, my brother, man. Always supporting the channel. Shout out to my dog, Don. Gruden's 2.0. First year was 4-12. I hated it at first, but we'll see how the process unfolds. And this is the thing. You know what I'm saying? The problem with Gruden, you guys, is, and I have to say this, I don't want to shit on him, and shout out to you, Don. I don't want to shit out on Gruden because he's, he did a few good things. He got some good players for us, him and Mayock. They went out there and got us the Max, the Maxes of the world, the Nate Hobbs of the world. They got us some guys. They got us some building blocks, some Hunter Renfros of the world. They got us some guys, the Darren Wallers, if he does return, which I don't even know if he does at this point. But I don't think that Gruden had a plan. That's the problem. I don't think that Gruden had a plan at all, you guys. There was a point where Indianapolis offered him 2 firsts, I believe, if that rumor was true, for Derek Carr. There was no plan in motion with John Gruden. There was no plan. He was just kind of just going with the flow of things. That's not how it works in the NFL. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan A for what's going on now. You have to have a plan B for what's going on next year. You have to have a plan C for your third year. There's so much that goes into building a team for the future. And I think that Gruden was just continuously just trying to get lucky. You see what he was doing in the first round. They couldn't draft. There was no plan. There was no plan. There was none. There was none. I think we should have knew automatically when Ziegler made no moves at the trade deadline to get better. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, there was no moves. We should have already knew what they were doing. What they were doing. With all these outs in these contracts, you guys, these guys are low-key genius. They gave us what we wanted, right? A lot of us wanted Derek Carr back. Well, guess what? He gave us Derek Carr with a short leash and an out on his contract. They said, you know what? We're going to bring Waller back. This is going to make the nation, love us. We'll probably move on from that contract. Let's just keep it a bean. You know what I mean? Hunter Renfro, and the list goes on. There's only 2 guys that I don't see moving on. Devontae Adams will be a Raider for the foreseeable future, point blank, period, the end. And, Chandler Jones, the way that contract is structured, there's no way out of it. We kind of just got to thug that one out. Unless he asks for a trade, and maybe a team can pick that up. I don't know. But we have to be real patient at this point, you guys. We all drink the Kool-Aid, me included. A lot of us drink the Kool-Aid. We've seen the big names. We've seen the winning coaches coming in, and I get, that Josh McDaniels is a losing head coach up to this point. I mean, just offensive coordinator. He's won a lot of games in New England. Zeke has won a lot of games in New England, right? But we expected a lot of these out of these guys with only 4 or 5 draft picks in this year's draft, right? We expected a lot from these guys with what we were dealing with in free agency. Like, we really expected a lot with very minimum resources, very minimal resources. And, that's a part of business. Part of business is to sell that dream to us. So we'll continue to buy in. But this is the process, you guys. This shit takes time. It takes time. Hopefully we can restructure, Darren Waller. Hopefully we can restructure Chandler Jones. You know what I mean? And you guys, I think that this is I know I get emotional and I get reckless with the whole Derek Carr talks. I just feel at this point we deserve better and he deserves better. If there was a way to restructure that contract where it worked for him to come back and be a bridge guy for maybe a year, if we couldn't go get a Tom Brady or another guy for a bridge guy, then you make it happen. I think at this point that relationship is so strained that it makes no sense to even try to bring back Derek Carr, because at this point we're pretty much embarrassing him. You know what I'm saying? We're embarrassing Derek Carr. At this point, I feel personally that I think Josh McDaniels and Zeke is forcing Derek Carr's hand at this point. Like, I really do. It's like, thug it out and we'll just get rid of you at the end of the season, or get rid of your trade clause and we'll trade you now. I do believe that this regime is forcing Derek Carr's hand, saying, look, in the offseason, we'll save $30 million by letting you go, or why don't you break bread with us on this trade clause, and then maybe we can send you somewhere like a Tampa Bay, Indianapolis, somewhere where, when Brady moves on, they may like Derek Carr. They may not want to go get a young quarterback. They may be ready for now. You know what I'm saying? There's a few teams that may go out there and do that. Maybe the Texans say, you know what, we want to go get Derek Carr too. I don't know. But I'm just saying at this point, they're forcing DC's hand. You know what I'm saying? You think Jay will open up the full playbook? No. DeMokes, there's no reason for that at this point this season, my brother. With us 2-7, you don't want to show everything. You don't. You definitely don't. You don't at all. Shout out to you, though, my brother. Shout out to DeMokes. Let me see. Yeah, he has a no trade clause, James, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying at this point, these guys are probably forcing this man's hand, saying, look, let us go. Let us out of that no trade clause. You know what I'm saying? And we'll send you somewhere that you want to go. DC can go to this regime right now, you guys. He can walk up to David Ziegler's office, knock on that door, sit down in that seat and say, I will waive my trade clause. Can you send me over here? Can you send me over here? Can you make some calls to specific teams? And if you can get some interest from these guys, potential teams that I would want to go to, maybe Indianapolis, maybe one of these other guys, he'll do it. King of Kings. I know he wants to be a Raider, my brother, but at the end of the day, it's all about the guys that are running the Raiders. Do they want him to be a Raider? At this point, it don't matter if I want him to be a Raider or you want him to be a Raider or Derek Carr wants to be a Raider. These guys do not give a shit about that. This is a new regime, fellas. This shit is ran totally different. We don't bring players in just because they want to be Raiders. We bring them in because they fit the culture, they fit the mold, they fit what these guys want. Doesn't matter if you want to be here. And to be honest with you, I'm cool with that, because we get so wrapped up in these players because they want to be here. If Derek Carr talks shit about the Raiders for the past 9 years, you guys, we wouldn't speak the same about him. If he said, I don't want to be here, but I'm still here, we wouldn't be saying the same shit about Derek Carr. A lot of you guys wouldn't be singing his praises. A lot of you guys would be like, get him the fuck out of here. The only reason you guys want him to come back is because he's been here for 9 years and he keeps saying, I want to be a Raider. Well, guess what? These guys don't give a fuck. They don't care. They don't care. Josh McDaniels, David Ziegler, these guys do not care if you want to be here. These guys have no attachments to this dude. They did not draft him in the second round out of Fresno State. They didn't. They have no connections to this dude at all. Let's just keep it a buck, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Hit that subscribe button if you guys aren't subscribed yet. Shout out to Diner. They're building a winning culture. All of you guys forget that they said they were trying to out the players we had. That didn't mean they were keeping them, and Ziegler has full control over the draft. Facts. Facts. And I feel like we have to look at how things go, Diner, right? There's two guys that were in that system for so many years in New England that are just magically free agents at the end of this year, Jimmy G and Tom Brady. Two guys that know that system like the back of their hands, that's been with those guys for many years, won rings with them. This isn't just happening. This is like a magical plan, you guys. like they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're saying, look, We can go get our defense right now in this draft. And if there's a quarterback that we think we can build for the future, we can go get him too. And guess what happened? We got two guys that's very familiar with us that may say, you know what, I want to go over there. Everything that's going on right now is happening for a reason. I don't believe that we're losing these games because Josh McDaniels is a terrible coach. I don't think we're losing these games because David Ziegler is a terrible GM. I don't believe that. I believe these guys have a plan and they are bold enough to do it right in front of our faces and not give a fuck. And I'm gonna be real with you, man. I'm here for that kind of violence. I'm definitely here for it. I'm definitely here for it. You need bold motherfuckers, man. You know what I mean? You do. And the reason why Josh McDaniels is being so calm, cool, collective, and humble in these pressers is because he knows that this is just a throwaway year. This is a throwaway year, man. It's a throwaway year. He's going to keep regurgitating the same shit. We have to do better. We have to learn how to win. We have to do this. We have to do that. Oh, Derek Carr has the right to be mad. He has the right to be upset. He says all the right things in those pressers because he knows. He's just going to keep repeating the same shit. When we lose to Denver this Sunday, you guys, Josh McDaniels is going to say the same shit. He's going to say the same shit. You know what? We had a plan. You know, we have to learn how to win. It's going to be the same shit every week when we take these L's. It's going to be the same shit. But just know they got a definite pinky in the brain plan ahead. And we just have to stay the course and be cool and just not stress about this shit. You know, the only thing that I can go without right now is watching the Raiders social media. Like, these guys upload shit on Instagram and Twitter and act like everything is cool. They need to shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. Like, they need to shut the fuck up. Raiders, shut the fuck up. Raiders, shut the fuck up. All that social media shit, stop posting shit acting like Allegiant State, there's no place like it. Yes, there is. That is a place where you go when you want half the stadium or more, or even more of the stadium to be filled by road teams. Stop acting like everything that y'all are posting is going to help the, you know what I mean? Were you guys just trying to stay in the algorithm? You guys are probably just trying to stay in the algorithm at this point. But stop trying to sell us a dream. We know what's real and we know what's not. Like, for real. Shout out to Black Sales Sports Talk. Ziegler told us at the beginning of the season and we all ignored it. They never wanted to sign DC long-term. This was a tryout year. He didn't pass. Facts. Think about this, you guys. I think at this point, right, Tom Brady, I think they're about 5-5 in Tampa Bay, right? I think he has 12 touchdowns to 2 picks. 12 TDs to 2 picks. They've also had some offensive line troubles in Tampa Bay. A couple of their guys went out for the season. You know what I mean? They lost some receivers. They lost, you know, they've lost a lot over there in Tampa Bay. They're not the same Tampa Bay team. But Tom is still actually looking pretty cool. I'm not expecting him to go out there and launch shit all over the place, but I would expect him to come in and be that guy, short, intermediate passes that can get it done for a year or two for us while this young guy that we groom behind him. You know what I'm saying? I do think that we are going to look at him. If he comes back for another year, right? If he comes back for another year and the Niners are not sold on Trey Lance, because Tom Brady grew up loving the Niners. He was a Niner fan growing up. You know what I'm saying? If they don't reel him over there, I can definitely see Tom Brady being a Raider. I know a lot of guys don't want to hear that. I hate Tom Brady. Fuck Tom Brady. But if he can come in and help us win a championship, I'm cool. Everything else, Tom Brady, look, the Tuck rule, all that other shit, water on the bridge to me, man. Water under the bridge to me. It is. I don't give a fuck. I will forget totally about the Tuck rule. Do I wish that Seawood would have got a ring with us? Definitely, man. Definitely. That's one thing that haunts me. Do I wish that Tim Brown would have gotten a ring with all the years that he played with us? Definitely, man. But at this point, I just want a ring. So I'm washing my hands of any shit that happened in the past. Period. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I know a lot of us, you know, we're stuck in, you know what I mean, stuck on some fuck him. But if he can come in and help us, hey, it is what it is. And I'm not saying that he's the answer, you guys. I'm just saying that if he is definitely an option, because these guys do like people that know their system, know their culture. If you bring in a quarterback like Tom Brady, everybody in that locker room follows him. Everyone. I'm sorry, you guys. Let's just keep this shit a buck, man. And I don't want to shit on anybody, but let's just be real right now, man. Let's just keep this shit real. Max Crosby is a leader in the locker room. This man's like 25, 26 years old. He's never won anything. That's a leader in our locker room. Devontae Adams, what is he, 29, 30, somewhere around there? Hall of Fame. He'll be a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He's never won a Super Bowl. That's a leader in our locker room, right? Derek Carr, never won a playoff game. That is a leader in our locker room. Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, these guys, they never won shit. They've never won nothing. They never won anything. I think Chandler Jones won one with New England, right? I think that he won one with New England. I could be wrong, but I swear he won one with these guys. A leader in our locker room. You need somebody that's going to come in and demand respect from everybody. Everybody. If you bring in a wide receiver that's won 3 championships before, he's going to look at Derek Carr and be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, listen to me. I'm the one that did this and did that. You have to have leaders that have been there and done that. And I don't want to shit on our guys, but these guys have never won anything, including Devontae Adams. These guys have never won anything. Nothing. Not one meaningful game. And the only game that means anything in the NFL was the Super Bowl, you guys. Not taken away from Devontae Adams being the NFC championships. I'm not talking about him being, in the playoffs, pretty much every year with Green Bay. I'm saying we don't have too many guys on this roster that's ever won one meaningful game ever, outside of maybe Chandler Jones. And I think Deron Harmon won 1 or 2 with New England as well. Right? That's it. Who else? Nobody on that O-line has won shit. Who else? Matt Collins has never won shit. We can keep going down the list, you guys. And any of those defensive tackles that we have, them motherfuckers ain't never won shit. None of these linebackers have ever won shit. Nobody. So at the end of the day, I'm going to stick with the guys that have been there and done that are looking for leaders in the locker room, that are looking for guys that are going to buy into this culture. Las Vegas is not an easy city to groom these kids, man. It is very, very tough to bring in 20-year-old guys off, off of a college campus, give them millions of dollars and say, be cool. You have to have a special kind of breed of coach, a special kind of breed of GM, a special kind of, positional coaches, guys that can get to these guys and say, look, don't go out there and fuck off your whole life. Don't go out there and fuck off your whole career. And I'm going to be real with you guys. Yes, we've lost 7 games this season, but I believe in these guys. And I may be wrong. I could be totally wrong. Josh McDaniels can get fired next week after, he can get fired Monday if we lose to Denver. And I'm totally off. But at this point, I'm going with the guys that we have right now. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. That's it. I said it on Waste This Channel. Super Bowl 28-3. I take. There you go, Donna. Shout out to you, family. Everybody make sure you guys wipe them feet and hit them thumbs up, man. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please hit that subscribe button. I've lost 200 subscribers now since the last live stream. People do not like the car talk. And to be honest with you guys, I'm going to be real with you. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to speak my mind all the fucking time. So shout out to everybody here rocking with me, whether you like what I say, hate what I say, respect what I say, don't respect what I say. You're here, you're rocking with me. That's all that matters. Simple and plain. Let me see. Let me see. I want CJ Stroud all day long, even if he's an Ohio State quarterback. I'm not against that. I'm not against CJ Stroud if that's the move. Me personally, it's Bryce Young, then it's CJ Stroud, then Will Levis. And yes, you guys know I've been heavy on the whole Will Levis talk out of Kentucky, right? But I would definitely take Bryce Young or CJ Stroud over him. I just didn't assume that we'd have a top 5 pick. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that these two guys wouldn't even be in the conversation. But at this point, it's looking as though we may have to, we may have a pick where we're looking at CJ Stroud or potentially Bryce Young. Real talk. Raider John, you already know, my brother. You already know, King. Shout out to my dog, man. Shout out to my dog. Yeah, man. Plum, you know, it is what it is. We too invested. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, I got a damn clothing line, man. You know what I'm saying? I made a clothing line because I love this team so much. Oaklosvegas.com, you know, you got the champion joints, you know what I'm saying? Got the hats. I got all this shit. You know what I mean? I quit my job to cover this team. And I had a really, really good job. You know what I'm saying? A really good job. You know what I mean? We really, really love this team a lot. You know what I mean? So it hurts to see what we're going through right now. But you know, the crazy thing is once you finally put it in perspective and you really start looking, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I see the big picture. You know what I mean? Then, you know, you start understanding. I don't know why this Niner fan is in here. I'm going to get you the fuck up out of here. Troll God. Let me see. Let me see. Shout out to T-Wave. I don't agree with you on this, but I will rock with you because you're the best out there, Docs. Shout out to Wave, man. I appreciate you, family. Definitely, man. Let me see. What happens in there? What do you mean, Robert? Elaborate on that, brother. No, Big Time Willie, you have to understand this. You have to understand this, man. We're not saying we're just going to go draft a rookie quarterback this offseason and then just start him. That's not what I'm saying. I think Devontae will understand the big plan. Look, Devontae is going to be sold completely if you go bring in a guy that's proven like a Tom Brady. He's going to say, okay, I'm here for this. I'm here for this. I'm here for this. And even if he's not that big ass contract, you're going to be here anyway. You know what I'm saying? But this is not these guys going out and saying, we're going to go draft a quarterback and put him in year one. In a perfect world, Willie, you go draft a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud, right? And you do exactly what Green Bay did. You do exactly what Green Bay did. You know what I mean? You sit Aaron Rodgers for a few years while Brett Favre does his thing, right? He comes in, he wins a championship. Then you go draft Jordan Love. You sit his ass until Aaron Rodgers says I'm done, right? You know, the Niners had Jimmy G. They went and drafted Trey Lance. He wasn't ready yet. Sat his ass down. There's nothing wrong with going out and getting a great young talent early and sitting his ass down and having him learn behind someone that's so masterful at this game like a Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? And this is not me saying that Tom Brady's 110% going to be a Raider and going to be in Las Vegas. Let's just say that if you go back and listen to that interview where he said, you're going to go run with that motherfucker, he was talking about the Raiders, you guys. He wanted to be a Raider. He was looking at houses already in Vegas, already talked to Rob Gronkowski. They were both going to be a package deal coming into Vegas, looking at real estate and shit. You know, he wanted to be here. And guess what makes that easier now? Guess what makes that easier now, you guys? Guess what makes that easier? Not only Josh McDaniels. No, not only David Ziegler. No, not only Carmen Bracillo. No, you have the best wide receiver in the game in Devontae Adams. You have Darren Waller, when healthy, a top 5 tight end. You have a top 5 slot guy in Hunter Renfrow when healthy. That brings Tom Brady to the Raiders. That has him walk off into the promised land, you know what I mean, after another year or two and retire. That's what brings him over here. That's what sells him on what we got going on. Not just Josh McDaniels and not just David Ziegler and not just the system, the players that we've already brought in, you know what I mean, and got him here. Shout out to Hawk. We're going to have a Trey Lance, Jimmy G situation here real soon. Going to be Carr and a rookie that's either too raw or needs improvement. Now, if that's the plan, if Carr, I just don't know how you bring Carr back, Hawk, at this point. We broke him. We broke him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we literally have broken Derek Carr at this point. I just don't know how you bring him back another year and after you draft a quarterback high and expect DC to run with that. I think he'd rather retire. Shout out to O. Call me crazy in the first. I would only take CJ or Levis. If CJ is gone, get Carter. I like Carter a lot. Or trade down to get Levis, but knowing the Raiders will draft a bust. Bro, this is not the same regime. We have to stop acting as though Mike Mayock and Reggie McKenzie and all these other guys are still drafting for us. This is a totally different regime. Shout out to T.O. Let's say we have a top 3 pick. You going QB or DE? It depends. If Bryce Young and Stroud are off the board going 1 and 2 to say the Texans in Detroit and say we're 3, then you go get Will Anderson, right? Or you go get the young guy out of Georgia, the defensive tackle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against that. But if you have the number 3 pick and those guys are gone, I don't think you draft Will Levis. I think if you can, you get Will Anderson and maybe you try and trade back into the first round with one of those, with a second round or a third round pick. You know what I'm saying? But if those 2 guys are off the board, I'm going to get the best defensive player, and then I'm going to try and trade up and go get a Levis. You know what I'm saying? Maybe potentially Anthony Richardson or a hooker or one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out to T.O. Blake, we get Tom Brady or Jimmy G in free agency, then draft Will Levis to sit behind him. Who says no? I'm all for that, Blake. I'm all for that. I am all for that, my brother. Shout out to Blake. Let me see. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to my brother Wasted in the building. Shout out to my brother Hammer in the building. Yeah, bro. Tom Brady passing the Tay sounds scary. What is one way to keep him happy, you guys? Fire his best friend. He'll be upset. Bring in the best quarterback of all time. He'll be like, you know what? I'm cool. That's it. That's it. That's how you sell Davante Adams moving forward. But I really think that these guys have a plan. I do. I think that these guys have a plan. I really, really do. Brave, Aaron Rodgers as well. I mean, look, but the thing with him is, do you want to bring him over here? Me personally, right? Maybe he has more in the tank than Tom Brady. But the thing is, you bring in Tom Brady because he knows the system. You bring in Tom Brady because he has 7 rings. You know what I'm saying? You bring in Aaron Rodgers. Yes, he's familiar with Davante Adams, but they've never won anything together. Yes, though, you bring in Aaron Rodgers. He has Waller. He has Renfro. He has way more weapons. But at the end of the day, me personally, if you're going to go with an OG, if Brady doesn't retire, you bring in Brady. Me personally. Or you bring in Jimmy G and you run the fucking ball all year long. How about that? If you don't bring in Brady, you bring in Jimmy G and you re-sign Josh Jacobs and you run the fucking ball all the damn time and just take shots when available. That's it. I could be dreaming, Javier. I could be. I don't know. I'm just a dumb Raider fan, bro. That's it. I'm just a dumb Raider fan. Like most of us. Players who are a part of this regime's long-term plans, who know they are who they are, and so the ones that aren't. I bet that's why there's so much division in the locker room. Yeah, definitely, Sean. Definitely, man. Definitely. This is facts. Some of these guys know what's up. Don't think for once, man, that McDaniels hasn't sat some of his guys down and talked about the plans to get this shit, take this shit to the next level. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he's opened that up to numerous players, but there's probably somebody in that locker room that understands what's going on right now. But that's facts. There probably is a lot of division in there because some of those guys know they'll be there, and a lot of those guys know they do not fit the bill of what these guys are doing moving forward. Shout out to RS. I appreciate you, my brother. If you guys want to become a member of the channel, I did put the link in there. And also, if you guys want to go check out the merch, Oaklosvegas.com. The link is pinned up top. One of the best ways, man, to support the movement, man. Oaklosvegas.com. And there's a bunch of new merch on there as well. Shout out to RS. Brady said, no time soon. He's divorced. He's ready. Brady and Hooker, a match made in heaven. Talk that shit, King. Shout out to my brother, man. Shout out to my brother. Y'all want Wasted to pull up, man? What's up? What's up, big bro? You got a few minutes? I'm gonna send it over, man. See if my guys want to pull up. I just wanted to shoot my shit. Real quick, man, and let y'all know you know, why I'm thinking how I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? And Javier, this is the first time. Nah, man, I've been positive a lot. I've been positive a lot, my brother. It's just this year is very, very hard to be positive. It's very hard. You know what I'm saying? Very hard. But I'm just trying to find a black and silver lining in this shit storm that we're in right now. You hear me? That's all that is. That's all that is. Shield Moore, check the group chat. Shield Moore, check the group chat. Yeah. You got to understand this too. This is the thing. You know what I'm saying? I think that these coaches, they understand what's going on right now too, because they know they have to face Patrick Mahomes 2 times a year. They know they have to face the Justin Herberts 2 times a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, this is a tough division. I know they all look like shit right now. I know the Chargers look like shit. I know the Broncos look like shit. The Chiefs look like the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? But it's tough right now. It's tough right now. The Chargers still have a lot of young players over there. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Willie. We've seen the potential with Carr and Adams on Monday Night Football. Trey Waller for picks, upgrade defense. I'm not against that. Whatever gets this team better, man. Josh McDaniels has to let the players play their game. I hear you, Willie. The problem is, man, if you let them play their game, how they want to play their game, we're probably going to win a few games that's going to fuck us up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys want to let these guys go out there and play their game and potentially put it like this. We can go out there and win every game moving forward and be 10-7 and still miss the playoffs because we lost all those conference games. And then what do we win those games for? Well, like, what are we winning for? What are we winning for? All we did was go from a top 3 pick to a top 15 pick. Why? You know what I'm saying? Why would we do that? Fuck going out and letting these guys play their game. I mean, the defense, I think they just shit in the bed. I think that's just who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the O, it's clear cut that he puts he pushes his foot on the pedal, shows what he can do in that offense, and says, let's pull back. We did too much. Let's go put up 20 real quick and then get right back to just nah. That it feels like Josh McDaniels is doing that. He's saying, go out there, put up dub on these motherfuckers, and then let's stop doing that shit. Yep. Bro.
That is the craziest shit I've ever heard you say.
Hey, I'm just saying, bro. Motherfuckers out there, hey, go push the gas, bro. Go punch the gas. And then, hey, you know what, man? Hey, hit the brakes now, bro. Fuck all that. Real shit. Shout out to my brother Hammer in the building, man. What's good, King?
Hey, shit, man. Just trying to relax right now. You trust in this process? No. That's what it's sounding like.
I have to. I mean, shit, that's kind of where we are at this point, right? I mean, if we don't, we're gonna fucking go stir crazy.
Yo, listening to that presser and them saying fucking process like 3 or 4 times, I was ready to lose my shit. We are officially labeled a Philly sports fucking team with that shit.
Shout out to Rockstar Wasted in the building, man. This motherfucker out here looking like young Jock with a jacket on and shit.
Come choose the vibe. Look, bro, I just come out the car, bro. Listen, look, bro, you know I just got to keep the butter sauce shit on, man. It's cold. It's cold up here, bro. It's 20 degrees.
What's up, my brother?
Chilling, bro. Chilling, man. Just came in the house, bro. I'm going to be honest with you, dog. Dog, when I heard the process, because I was listening to, dog, and we've been saying this shit the whole time, dog. They really are doing some NBA shit. They really, really doing some NBA shit. The crazy thing about it is, call me Mackie Tacky. Out the bull, Mackie Tacky.
But go ahead, brother.
But on the real, like the thing about it is, like you don't have to tank in the NFL though. And that's the thing that kind of bothers me about it. You really don't have to tank. It's not where you draft, it's who you draft. You know, like you can have the number 1 pick and take Jamarcus Russell. Like, and that's the thing I need to see exhibited. Like, are they really good at drafting? Now it looks like they are, but some of these picks, bro, like I at first I was like, you know what? I like Zeke. I like what he does. But the thing that I haven't been able to get out of my mind is them taking 2 running backs.
Yeah.
What's the point of that? And then you don't even like to run the ball. Yeah. Like, and then you got Tariq Woolen balling out of control. And what do we need right now? We need defensive backs.
You know why, though? I do not think that they believed in Josh Jacobs to do what he's doing right now. I really think that they were like, this is another guy that's not going to fit what we're doing. We're going to move on from him.
But you didn't see anything in the Hall of Fame game? Like, that didn't fucking tell you what this dude was capable of? And yet you came in
Hammer,
with a 53-man roster with 6 fucking running backs for what? You don't even use half of them.
At that point, we had already drafted 3 running backs, 1 UDFA, and we had already not picked up his 5th-year option. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that these guys, I think that they thought maybe, just maybe, Cody calling me. I'm going to call him right back. I just think that they were like, this guy's been hurt. He's always beat up. We'll just run him ragged this year and we'll let our young pups run next year. And they didn't realize, holy shit, like we got something here with Josh Jacobs. This guy is running mad. He's been healthy up to this point. I don't think that they were ready for that. I really don't. So, I mean, look, these guys aren't going to be perfect. Let's just be real. Like, I didn't understand drafting 2 running back. That shit was fucking stupid to me. But at the end of the day, I seen kind of what they were going with. We're not picking up the 5th-year option. Josh will be out of here. We got some of our own guys. I think personally we should have won defense. But I think also they thought this is going to be the year where you pick up some potential offensive pieces because we already know what we're doing moving forward. The next year when we got all these draft picks, we're going completely defense. I think that they had that in mind. I could be giving away more credit than they deserve. You know what I'm saying? But I think Ziegler is so calculated and so smart that he has what he's going to do 4 Thursdays from now on a fucking whiteboard in his office. That's just who I think Ziegler is. And I think he already had a plan in motion with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what I'm doing with this. We're going to go as much as we can. We'll get 2 defensive tackles, sprinkle it in because that's our weakest spot that we have on this team, even though we're not going to play them. But we'll go get 2 defensive tackles. We'll get an offensive lineman because we need one, and Parham has been a gem. But I think that they already knew next year when we got all these fucking draft picks, we're going to go defense because that's when we have all the tools and the resources to make this defense a makeover overnight. Let's just keep it real, bro. 15 picks potentially, bro. You can have an entirely different fucking a roster completely day one. Like, you know what I mean? The defense can look totally different. God damn, bro. Fingers, Cody, everybody calling me.
The crazy thing for me is just a lot of the moves that were made this offseason, you got to look at them with a jaundiced eye now, right? Now, I have a lot of faith in these guys, but there's a piece of some of this where I'm getting a little concerned. Now, I've been one of the main guys, Docs, myself, we've said that, you got to see it through. You got to see it through. You got to see it through.
Yeah.
But then the more that I listen to certain guys, now I take what Brandon Marshall says with a grain of shit because he's a moron. Fuck Brandon Marshall. No matter, he has a little axe to grind, but I've heard other people who play with Josh McDaniels and they've said certain things. Yes. And a lot of people say, he's trying to be baby Belichick, whoop-de-whoop. That's not really my thing. My thing is that, do you guys really know what you're trying to do? Because if you were going to take that metric of not picking up the 5th round option with Josh Jacobs, that is a good strategy. I support it. But why not taking that with Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing I'm a little concerned about with these guys. Were we really tanking? You know what I mean? Did they really know? Like, why would you give a guy like Darren Waller he's a very mercurial cat, bro. He's a head case. I don't really understand why give him a contract. With Renfrow, I get it. He earned it. It's a drop in the bucket. It's very, very easy to absorb. The Darren Waller thing is a problem for me because now if you're going to try to get rid of the guy, your best bet is really to cut him unless somebody is dumb and they want to take that contract on because the guy hasn't played all season and he doesn't look like it's going to work here for him. Now, maybe it's a Derek Carr thing or is it a Josh McDaniel thing? See, that's the thing we got to figure out. If it's a Derek Carr thing and he's sitting out and he just wants Carr out of here, then I get it. But
and we talked about that before, and I talked with Scout. Like people thought I was tripping about that situation. I just had a conversation with Scout the other day about that, and he'll probably kill me for bringing it up again, but he heard it again behind the scenes. Someone close to Darren that there's something that's just missing with that relationship. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Darren just outright is like, fuck Derek Carr, I don't want him around, but there's something missing between that relationship. You know what I'm saying? That it's just not there.
That dude is the reason he got that money. Let's be real.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for fucking Carr, he wouldn't have gotten that fucking money.
Look, I'm sorry. I'd pick Derek Carr over Darren Waller off.
Facts. But at the same time, dude, the last time you put up fucking anything remotely solid was 2019, 2020. You missed more than half of the season last year. You missed majority of this season. The fuck did you get any type of money like that for?
Yeah.
You're not doing shit.
Yeah, bro. And the thing is, it's not like he's the cleanest prospect in the world either. You know what I mean? He has a lot of baggage. He has a lot of, just from a mental standpoint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you hear him talk, even if he didn't have the drug issues, he is a very mercurial dude, bro. He is not the kind of guy that will buy into this kind of a situation, man. He's not an extrovert. It just doesn't seem like he's the kind of guy that fits in, man. That
was the word that was used when I spoke with Scout about the Derek Carr relationship, was extrovert and introvert. You know, I think personally, you guys, me for real, I think that Waller, and when I say I'd pick Derek Carr because he stays healthy, at least he wants to be out there, right? It looks like he's going to fight for this team as much as possible. Mind you, I want to move on from Derek Carr regardless, but I'm just saying if I had to pick between them. But I think personally, you guys, and y'all may kill me for this, I think that Waller fits the mold for this new regime. I think that the way they run this kind of like a military situation, this is what's best for Waller. I think that Waller will benefit the most for being in this kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he needs structure. I think last year beat his ass, bro. I think last year the whole Gruden shit, the Henry Ruggs. Can you imagine how hard it is for Waller to watch these guys drunk, driving, fucking their life up? And this dude has had drug and alcohol issues. That shit ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? I think right now, him sitting out, maybe being employed from maybe he's the one that knows what the fuck Josh McDaniels is doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just keep it real. We don't want you going out there and re-injuring your hamstring. You'll be back next year with a new quarterback and we'll be ready to go. I think Waller actually fits the mold of what they're trying to do, that more structured talk. I do. I think that Waller wants to be here. I think that when he's healthy, he can still be the same guy he was. Yes, he's dropping passes left and right. We know that. But I think that real shit, I think that he's built for what these guys are trying to do. And I wouldn't be shocked if he really played out the rest of his contract. Could you imagine the sell if you have to sell Tom Brady or you have to sell another guy to come in, Aaron Rodgers? You say, I got Devontae and Waller, man. I don't have to sell you shit.
You could drop Brady in, and that's why I think it's more of a real situation, because having Brady, if you go and get a couple of offensive linemen and improve the defense, this is exactly the same scenario in Tampa Bay with a little less talent.
Yes.
A little more offensive talent, but a little less talent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because Brady brings people with him. Because I've heard rumblings about Julian Edelman coming out of retirement. Now, Julian Edelman, I don't know what he has left, but Julian Edelman at his best, I would not mind having him playing in his offense in the same role that Hunter's in.
Not at all.
I wouldn't, especially with Brady as one of Brady's guys. It'll be the same kind of a scenario when he brought Graphk in. And that's the thing. You imagine Brady with Josh Jacobs on a franchise deal, them going out getting some defensive free agents, because now it's easier to sell free agents on Vegas.
It's even some of those defenders that are coming out of Tampa Bay. There's a lot of free agent defenders that's going to be like, I will follow Tom Brady to the fucking moon. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit. Like, this is the GOAT. Like, I'm going where he is going. Like, I'm telling y'all, there's a big plan in motion right now. And I get it. I know a lot of people are like, fucking Tom Brady's 81 years old. Why the fuck are we talking about Tom Brady?
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all right now, that man left his wife in order to still play football. Like, that's how much he loves this
supermodel wife.
Yeah.
Supermodel wife. And it's funny. Somebody said, when we're saying Darren Waller's an introvert, which he said himself thousands of times, right?
Yeah.
An introverted rapper. Bro, raise your hand if anybody's buying Darren Waller's music. He's an introverted rapper because nobody's listening to that shit. Like, stop. Don't act like he's up there rocking the crowd and shit. Like Darren Waller is rapping to himself, bro.
AB's rocking a crowd more than he is.
Yeah, definitely, man. AB doing his little
Facts.
Do it,
bro. Hey, Waller would kill to be AB's music.
What?
Right now.
Graphk, do the dance.
He said, "If I had your hand, I'd cut mine off, AB." Come on, babies.
Hey, wait, got the jacket on too. Shout out to Hey Stu. What's good, fellas? What do you guys look? Everything you said in this, I'm all for it. If Bryce Young is there, just say he is there. And I think if you have a top 3 pick, if he's on the board, you have to think about one of those young guys. You have to, because I'm not in my head. I'm thinking we're never going to be here again. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're never going to be at this point where we can go get this young guy to learn behind a veteran guy. I think you have to. And I'm all for going to get all defense. Definitely, Jesus. I'm with all that smoke, my brother. Shout out to you, King. But I think DC is done. I think the Raider relationship is strained to the 10th power, and there's no coming back from it. I feel like he feels betrayed. I think that the Raiders are like, we don't give a fuck. And I think it's time for both parties to move on. Real shit.
I mean,
check out the video.
You got the people out there talking shit to his cousins, his nephews, and all that goofy shit. Get him out of here.
Yeah. There you go. Shout out to Steve. Shout out to Steve Ray. Docs, I would love for Josh to run a 2 tight end set with Waller and D. Washington, the tight end out of Georgia. The thing is this, Steve, I would love it too, but you have to go get him in the first round. That dude's measurables is out of this world. Somebody will take him in the first round. And I mean like a good playoff team already that's missing a piece on the offensive side of the ball. Somebody drafted maybe the 20 to late 20s. They will probably go get that guy out of Georgia. This dude's 6'7", dude built like fucking a machine. But we're nowhere near being able to go draft a tight end in the first round. It's not going to happen. Even if he fell to the second, you're not getting him. You need defense. We have to. I'm finally at the point, you guys, where I don't want to hear anyone's excuses about this defense anymore, about Derek Carr needing it or anybody else needing it. Let's just go get the fucking defense. That's it. Build this defense up. I don't care who's at quarterback. Build that shit up. Build it up.
Commit to one side of the football.
Yes.
Yep. And just really, if you want to talk about bringing the Raider mystique back, I've been talking about that all day. You got to bring a hard-hitting defense back. And if you can do that, then you can bring the real Raiders back. That's the way you strike fear into people, is knocking and hitting people in the mouth.
Yeah, real shit. And I think a lot of us are really doing a disservice to this O-line, you guys. I think that we need to give them more credit than we're giving them. I get there's some plays where, DC is kind of ran for us, but these guys, they've done good, man. With the names that we have on the O-line, I think this O-line is outperformed like a motherfucker, man.
I disagree.
Bro, I don't think the O-line is bad at all. Like, I really don't. Are they great? No. Fuck no.
Andre James's numbers have been fucking decreasing on a week-by-week basis.
Are you doing the eye test, or are you doing this PFF bullshit, little bro? Let me know, because I'm not doing the PFF
because
shit.
Eye test, Illuminor. The fuck is he?
No. Now, him, I agree with. Get him the fuck out of here. Like, yeah, I'm with all that. Put Mumford in there, have him start a right tackle.
I gave that motherfucker the I shit the bed player of the fucking week with what he's been doing. Like, I'm fucking over Illuminor. He has to have something on McDaniels, and McDaniels keeps starting him. It's fucking annoying to watch that motherfucker play right tackle when you're averaging 2-3 penalties a fucking game.
My shit always is style.
Hey, but look at the default picture though,
yeah,
bro.
I know. The dude from Harlem Nights. I hate kids.
I hate kids. You janky ass motherfucker.
Yeah, listen, man. Motherfuckers is up here trying to listen, bro. Y'all not facing me, man. I always got that splash on. I don't worry about y'all motherfuckers, yo. You couldn't belt a motherfucker off me.
Oh shit. Oh my god.
Y'all love my jacket. Y'all love my style. Stop it.
And you know what's funny? Since Wasted said, let's try and get rid of Colton Miller's contract, he's been asparagus compared to the player he used to be. He has gotten worse. I'll say that.
Really?
Well, because he's not really suited for a power blocking scheme. He's a zone guy. He is textbook zone blocking left tackle. He's not powerful enough to be in his power blocking scheme. He's getting exposed. So, you got 2 guys that were drafted for another scheme. And Andre James, bro, there's a power issue there. Even though he put the weight on, he put all of this, he needs to go to the HGH factory, go to Germany or something like that, juice up, go hit that squat machine or something, because Andre James has been getting manhandled because we've been playing teams with true nose guards. And Andy and I saw this like in the offseason. Whenever he plays against a team with a true nose guard, he gets abused. When he's not like helping and stuff like that, and he has to go up against a true nose guard, that's very, very bad for Andre James.
All right, so let's do this, you guys. Real quick. There are some guys out there. You want to run through some free agents real quick? Because I know a lot of people have been asking about free agents in 2023.
Go through.
We can do the quarterbacks, but there's no reason. Look, the only ones worth looking at: Brady, Garoppolo. You could potentially. I don't want to bring him in, but he knows the system as well. Jacoby Brissett. He would be a super bridge quarterback. Another guy you could potentially look at that's been kind of a breath of fresh air this year for Seattle is Geno Smith. Maybe it's just a fluke this year, but he's looked really good, bro.
Look, he's been behind Russell Wilson for the last few years in Seattle. So I think him fucking just sitting on the bench and fucking learning that system.
Yeah.
Because when he played for the Jets, when he played for the Giants, he was straight fucking dumpster juice. Like, real talk. I don't know. Somebody had asked me during my live earlier. I don't think he would necessarily fit Josh McDaniel's scheme. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't think he could fit that scheme.
I think Geno Smith was the product of the fucking New York media being too hard on the guy that they didn't want to be quarterback. Now, when you talk about Geno Smith with the New York Jets, they didn't get a kid anybody to throw to, and they were too hard on him right off the fucking bat.
When he got drafted, he acted like a spoiled little bitch because he got drafted in the 3rd round. He was going to leave Radio City Music Hall.
Facts, Q.
Bro, but you got to look at it like this. He was sitting there for fucking 2 days. What do you mean? Like, they thought he was going to be a first rounder. He was embarrassed. That was the longest I've ever seen a quarterback sit in the green room, dog. He sat to the 2nd day. So that wasn't being a spoiled bitch. And then he gets to the Jets. He has all of this bullshit happen. And then when he was a backup for the Giants, it's like, bro, the Giants were terrible, bro. Everybody was getting killed. So, look, Geno Smith, bro, I'm glad he's getting to relive his career. Do I think he fits in with what Josh McDaniel does? No.
No, not at all. And,
No.
and that's why I still said kind of like, you know what I mean? But we're not going to look at that. There's only a few guys that you look at in free agency. That's it. If they, and it's a veteran guy that has maybe a year or two left outside of Jimmy G. Is Jimmy G or Tom Brady at this point? Let's just keep it a bean. Like that. That's just, if you're going to get a guy that's a bridge guy, it has to be one of those guys that already knows
the system. I'll take either one.
All right, defense, you guys. Look at this real quick. There's some names out there. Deion Jones, no, he's unrestricted free agent.
You're gonna make me fucking zoom in on my fucking computer.
I know. I'll say some names, but there's
you're good. I got it up. You're good.
There's a lot of guys that on here that we wouldn't even look at. Let's just keep it a buck, bro. Like JJ Watt, no. Marcus Peters, no. And I like Marcus Peters. I just think that he's about to be 30 years old. I think he's at the end of his career.
He's a touchdown waiting to happen.
Fletcher Cox, 31. He's unrestricted. That's potentially a defensive tackle you could bring in.
Jimmy Ward, brother. Like your life depended on it. I would love if they brought Jimmy Ward in, brother.
Let me see. Javon Hart. Okay, hold on. Yannick. Nope. Jesse Bates. There goes that safety, but he gonna get a big bag though. You can't pay him. Levante David. Shit, he may follow Tom Brady if Brady comes over. I know he's 32 years old, but hey, that's a nice linebacker, a name that we haven't had at linebacker in forever. You know what I'm saying?
1 year.
Shit, bro. Hey, Dalvin Tomlinson, Giant. He's still fairly young. He's 28. Graham, Dalvin. Shit, why not? Fuck it. Bring Dalvin in. I mean, he's a defensive tackle. He can stop the run. Bradley Roby, that's my boy Twan's cousin, but nah, he's 30. He be getting cooked. Clowney, don't need him. Jimmy Ward.
Clowney for a decent deal as a third rusher. I can deal with Jadeveon Clowney as a third rusher because they're always going to need help on the defensive end. I mean, the thing about it is, I think that's going to determine a lot of the fluid movement is if you can unload Chandler Jones's contract, and I really don't think you can. I think they're handcuffed to him.
Yeah, me too. There's Matthew Leonidas. I know. Andy would love to have him. He's still 28. He's unrestricted. There's Akeem Hicks. James Bradbury, that's a guy that we can potentially bring in after having a big year, but he's going to want big money. And at that point, you can't re-sign Rock Ya-Sin. So it's kind of like this. If you want James, Rock is out of here. And to be real with you, I'd rather have Bradbury 10 times out of 10. I know Rock is younger. Don't get me wrong. But I like Bradbury. Look, he's having a fucking monster year for Philadelphia, even though he is surrounded around a lot more talent.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you bring Bradbury here, Bradbury might get exposed here with what we have.
Yeah. No, that's true. I just, the thing with Rock that irritates me is, man, you know, he's just not versatile enough to be in Graham's scheme. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put him in man, great. Put him in zone, terrible. Like, I think Graham wants some guys that he can utilize that have versatility. And I don't know if Rock can get that shit together. I don't know.
Yeah, Jimmy Ward is the guy. If you're going to spend any money, we need a true free safety.
31 years old. He's up there in age, but I would definitely take a flyer on him.
Jimmy Ward, I would get Merring and take him put him to strong safety. And then if he can't make it a strong safety, he'd play himself off the roster for me.
Devin Bush.
Melvin Ingram.
Is Melvin on here?
Yeah.
He's 33 years old. He's looked pretty good in Miami too, but he's also he's surrounded around a bunch of good talent too. Anthony Avery, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like ASAP, bro. Deron Payne, unrestricted. That's a name that we look at, a guy that we were talking about at the trade deadline to try and go get. You know what I mean? The dude's 25 years old. That can be your defensive tackle for a long time. I just don't know if these guys would want to spend that kind of money on the defensive tackle when they probably go draft one.
Yeah, and what is he playing? Is he your 3-tech? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So what is he doing? I think Matt Ioannidis will probably fit in more, and he'd be a lot more fiscally, relevant here. Like, I think that you can get him on the cheap. I don't think he's going to have the kind of market that a guy like Deron Payne would.
And even Deron Payne, if you go get him, you're basically saying fuck Matthew Butler and Neil Farrell. like you just went and got two young defensive tackles, bro. Fuck what they're going through. Like, we're just gonna
Well, I don't necessarily see it that way because
the rotational pieces at that point. I mean,
but
that's what you need, though.
I keep forgetting that they're 4th and 5th round picks, right? Like, so I keep forgetting that. Well, what's it 5th and 6th?
Look, all we know is Parham was our 3rd round pick.
Zeus was in the 4th.
Zeus was in the 4th. Them guys were like 6th and 7th.
I think it was 6th and 7th.
We had two.
Mumford was in the 7th.
That's right.
So we had 2
Britton
5s.
Brown was in the 7th.
So we had 2 5s and a 6, right? So I think they were they both 5th round picks, back to back 5th round picks.
They're probably back to back.
So Neil Farrell's the guy that looks like he's been playing, but he's been a healthy scratch.
Yes.
So when you start hearing about the rumors about people that aren't buying in, are these guys that aren't buying in? Cleveland Farrell sitting down. Matthew Butler hasn't really played all season. I don't think he's the kind of guy that wouldn't buy in. Whatever reason they're not playing him, I don't know. Malcolm Kuntz hasn't been playing. Why hasn't he been playing? He's a young guy who can get you some production. He's not playing at all. What the fuck is going on there with some of these guys? So these motherfuckers might not be here, especially Matthew Butler. I haven't seen him play a snap all year, really, that I can commit to memory. And they drafted this dude.
He's been out there a few times, but yeah.
No, I know, bro. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't done anything that I can be like, yo, okay, he made a great play. That's what I mean. I know he's been out there.
Yeah.
But they haven't committed to him at all. They can move him off this roster like that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, bro, I don't even know if Matthew Butler is somebody that you can factor into the future.
But you know what's funny? I'm looking at this free agency with defense, you guys. I think this is why they're trying to go all in on that draft. Like, there's not a lot of names like on this list that I'm like, they'd come in and just change the trajectory of our defense. It's really not. Like, it's really not. I think this is why, they're saying, look, we got to go out and draft. Let me look at O-line. Let's look at O-line real quick. I'm not seeing really.
Well, you don't. I see a lot of players that you can bring on the defense that would change the complexity of what we got going on, because it doesn't have to be some earth-shattering player. They have to fulfill a role within Patrick Graham's scheme. So when you look at what Patrick Graham was doing in New York when they were winning, you got to have those kind of players. And it starts really up front, right? Yeah. So you got guys like, okay, now you moved on. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. My bad.
Oh, no. What happened?
No. Because I was just, because you moved on in the offensive line. I'm looking.
Like, no. I was listening to you though. Break that down.
Yo, but you got a guy like, say for instance, like Fletcher Cox, right? Fletcher Cox is a guy that you can bring in. He still has a lot of football left in him. I think he has about 2 to 3 years of production that can actually put a dent in things. If you get a guy like Fletcher Cox in the middle, that changes the complexity of what happens on the back end of the defense. That helps Max Crosby out. You know what I mean? With Chandler Jones, you're kind of handcuffed to him. But if you're not dependent on Chandler Jones to start, and he's now a third pass rusher, now that looks a lot different.
Yeah.
Even though the contract is terrible, that production that I think Chandler Jones getting spelled and not playing as many snaps at the age that he's at can get you probably 6 to 7 sacks a year if he can come in and spell people and be the third rusher and play
Real quick, my bad, brother. You everything you saying is facts. I have to say this. Shout out to James Moore. He just bought this exact jacket at Oaklosvegas.com. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much for the support, man. Always, man. Shout out to my dog James Moore in the chat. No, I look, bro. Yep, there you go. He said, I just had to cop that jacket, Doc. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, King. Shout out to my dog. Now I hear you. I just, the thing is, man, you truly want to get young on the defensive side of the ball, right? You really do. You know what I'm saying? And unless we unload some of these big contracts on the offensive side of the ball, that 30 mil is going to help. But let's just keep it a buck. Like, a lot of that's going to be directed to a veteran quarterback if we do decide on going to get a Brady or a Jimmy G or some shit. So, you know, you want to get cheap on the defensive side of the ball. I seen Seattle do it. I seen New England do it. You know what I mean? Like, you want to go young, man. Like, a lot of those defensive guys that we see, those defenders are going to be overpaid by some bad teams. You know what I mean? We seen Jacksonville do it with Zay Jones. We seen them do it with Christian Kirk. Like people, they overpay guys year in and year out, overvalue these guys because they have to overpay them because they'll end up going to a better situation. You know what I mean? For less. So I don't know, man. Me personally, draft. I mean, yeah, you might want to fill a few holes. I'm with you on the safety position though. Wasted. I definitely am. Like, bringing a veteran, like you said, I'm cool with that. I'm definitely cool with that. But defensive tackle, 25-year-old Deron Payne, you're paying him big money because somebody's gonna cash him out, and we can't do that.
Yeah, we can't. But Matt Ioannidis, you can bring him.
Yes,
in. You can bring him in conjunction with a guy like Fletcher Cox at the end of his career.
Yes,
and mix him in with guys like Neil Farrell, because I think the problem with some of these guys is that they don't have anybody to show them how to be a pro. They don't have anybody to show them how to be a pro. They don't have no OGs in the locker room. And that's the problem I think that's happening right now. Because like we spoke about earlier, like you and I have been talking about this all week. I think what's the disconnect with some of these guys. You got guys like Devontae Adams, right? He says, I love what this coaching staff's bringing to the table. You know why? Because he just wants to win. So he doesn't care if they're monitoring his social media account. He doesn't care if they're coming in on Monday mornings and going over the next week. He doesn't care if they're practicing more. He doesn't care if they're harder on them, because he knows what it looks like and he wants to be successful. Now, all of the young guys who are bitching about that, these are guys that are probably not going to be in the future anyway, right? So if you get guys who are committed and want to win a ring, that have been in the National Football League a long time, I think that they, especially because I remember in New England always leaned on their veteran leaders, the Teddy Bruschi's of the world, the Willie McGinnis of the world. Before Brady kind of took the team over, that's who they leaned on, the vets on the defense, Ted Johnson's and guys like that, Mitch Wilfork. So if you bring in these guys, you can get all these young guys to buy in, and you can squash the egos, and then it'll be about the X's and O's and the Jimmys and Joes, and we can win some fucking football games.
No, I definitely agree with you. I think this regime's gonna move a little. They're gonna move more calculated. They're not just gonna go out and try to get the big name guys and overpay them. You know what I'm saying? They want guys that's going to buy into the culture and not just come in for a buck, you know what I mean, and play for this team. I really, and I'm with you on that. Like the Fletcher Coxes of the world, big pause. Tillery, I hope this guy pans out. A lot of Charger fans, like, I'm a Notre Dame guy, so I'm very familiar with him. He has not looked good with the Chargers, you guys. I'm going to be real. It's kind of hard.
The thing is, he was solid his first 2 years. And then all of a sudden this year, they decided to fucking kind of less playing time. And he wanted out. Apparently, we reached out some type of trade, and the Chargers like, no. I'm curious to see what he can do. Maybe he could be that guy for the future of this defense moving forward, and then bring in a guy maybe like Fletcher Cox alongside him. That would be a pretty fucking solid defensive line.
Yeah, no, I would love it. I would definitely love it. Let me read these off real quick, you guys. There's some guys out there on the offensive line because I don't think we're going to be able to address too much of this in the draft. We just have too many needs on the defensive side of the ball.
Sucks.
What was that?
Nah, I mean, I was trying to turn my phone off.
Oh, that shit scared the shit out of me. Real quick, also, man, I want to say this. Shout out to my dog, John Flores, as well. He just went to Oaklosvegas and grabbed it straight out of OLVT, the same one that my brother Wasted got. You got that one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to my dog, John Flores. I appreciate you, King. Thank you very much. If you guys want to go grab some merch, go to oaklosvegas.com.
I got that and the Drake one, too.
Yeah.
Not Drake, but you know.
Yeah. The if you reading this joint, right?
Yeah.
There's other names, but once again, you're not looking at Orlando Brown because, you know, he's going to get top money, right? He's still 26. I mean, if you can move on somehow, some way from Colton Miller, I would be all for bringing in Orlando Brown Jr. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it real, bro. Jack Conklin, you know. I don't think, me personally, that's going to be your starting right tackle of the future, to be real. I'd rather stick it out with Mumford. But I like Conklin's game, and that's a super pause. But I just don't think that he has it like that anymore, me personally. George Fant, Jason Kelsey, but, you know, he's 35. He's up there in age of center. Roger Saffold, guard, 34 years old. He's up there in age as well. Matt Pryor, Cameron Irving, Mike McGlinchey, another guy that the Raiders would have drafted over Colton Miller if the Niners didn't get him ahead of us, which, to be honest, we got the better of that.
Cool thing is, though, Mike McGlinchey playing right tackle,
yes,
is actually great because Trent Williams has been there. He's been a good right tackle. He's been a little injury prone. Notre Dame guy.
Love it.
I'd have no problem with it. And
he can stay healthy.
Healthy. If he can stay healthy, really quickly. You guys talk about Jerry Tillery, right?
Mm-hmm.
2019's rookie season, 17 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. 2020, the COVID year, 30 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. Last year, 2021, 51 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 6 tackles for loss. And this year, 8 tackles, 1 sack, 0 tackles for loss. So Jerry Tillery, to me.
Raider John, appreciate you, my brother. Thank you, King. That was my dog. John, that grabbed that. Go ahead, brother.
That, to me, Jerry Tillery, that's the perfect high risk, not low risk.
Low risk, high reward. Yeah.
Perfect. Because Jerry Tillery has a lot of talent. So maybe he can be your rush defensive tackle, and you can bring in that space filler. You got Neil Thick, Frame Farrell. If Matthew Butler doesn't get with it, he can get lost. And you can go out there and try to bring somebody else in, man.
And the good thing is, too, Bilal Nichols has 1 more year on his deal. He has not performed to what we thought he would do. But at the end of the day, it's a cheap contract. So you can keep him as a rotational piece as well if need be. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I would rather just move on and go somewhere else with it. But I'm not against bringing, Bilal back. He signed a 2-year deal, right? It's a 2-year deal. Yeah. And it's like $5 million or some shit. Like,
Bilal.
Yeah.
Get out of here, bro.
But there's some names out there. I think that we do address our O-line and free agency, you guys. I think these guys want to go get a few proven guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see them going out and getting a bunch of Dylan Parhams. You're not going to always hit with O-line with a bunch of young guys coming out the draft. So we'll do this. We'll do this again later on down the line when we really know what we need to fill. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard. I want to know who the fuck is coaching us at that point. Shit.
The guy that I've always liked, and he's a New York Giant guy, and he's a dirty motherfucker too.
Will Hernandez.
Mm-hmm. I love Will Hernandez, bro. I would love to bring Will Hernandez in and put him at left guard. I would love to bring him in, man. Especially, go ahead, bro.
So are you putting Parham at right guard, or are you putting him at center and just moving Andre James out of here?
You know what? I would probably go get another center and put Andre James at right guard. I think he's good at right guard.
Andre James, or you mean Parham?
Parham, my brother.
Okay.
My bad, brother.
Yeah.
Andre James, really, to be quite honest with you, man, you could take Andre James, package him, get a pick for him, and you can go out there and go get a center. There's the production you get out of Andre James, you can get off the scrap heap.
Yeah. That's true. Shout out to everybody here in the building, man. Wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please hit the subscribe button. Also, real quick, you guys, if you have not followed my brothers, what are y'all waiting for? Go subscribe to Hammer's House on YouTube. Go subscribe to Wasted Talent, Raider Nation Unlimited on YouTube as well. Run them numbers up, man. Get our brothers up there, man. I know we're looking at trying to get another 1,000 viewers, another 1,000 subs on both of my brothers' channels, man. So please do us that favor and run them up. On the way out, I want to ask you guys, how did y'all feel about what I kind of spoke on a little bit about my ideology, about, you know, my concept of what these guys, what I think their plan is? You know what I'm saying? I wanted to know from your take, if maybe I'm tripping, or maybe you see a little something there where, you know, that's kind of maybe might be the plan. Go ahead, Wes. Go ahead.
Probably like the realest shit I've heard from you in a very, very long time. Not even being funny.
Oh, my brother.
Everything you said was fucking spot on. And it's like, again, after sitting there and watching this presser today, it made me think twice of like, all right, this wasn't the year. It's not what everybody fucking envisioned. And there is some type of long-term plan. Like, realistically, all these people that love Carr oh so much, he's not it, guys. He's not it. And I said this on the live earlier that maybe, and we said this last year too, a change of scenery might do well for him, because look, we've looked at this waiving the no trade clause and several teams that would be interested in him, teams that we've talked about would be a good fit for him. And maybe that's the case. Or we release him. We get hit with a $5.3 million cap hit, but we still have $29.3 million to play with in cap space. Like, something is going on within this organization, and it looks right now that they are trying to turn this shit around for the right reasons, but we have to wait until the offseason and see what moves are going to be made and if they're going to be the right moves moving forward.
I hear you, brother.
Brother, I vehemently disagree with everything you said.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
You and Docs, I totally disagree. It's like, no, I'm kidding around. But in all seriousness, man, look, this is what we all know, and I think a lot of what you've seen in public gives you breadcrumbs to why that they changed course. It's not like they came in here and was like, oh, these guys suck and fuck it, let's tank. It's like, yo, you look, man, everything in life is up for change based off of the situation. The situation dictates the proper actions. They came here, they saw Derek Carr crying like a baby back bitch. And they said, hey, man, we got to get this guy the fuck out of here. This guy wears eyeliner. You know, no, I'm kidding around. But no, in all seriousness.
Hey, another 100 sub bites the dust.
Oh, shit.
I'm just fucking with you. Talk that shit, Wasted. Talk.
But nah, for real. Look, they saw what they have. Like, bro, there's a lot that's going on, bro. I think that with us and Raider Nation, man, we have this hyperbolic thing, man, because we've been bad for so long. Well, we can't think abstract and be like, hey, man, there could be 3 things wrong at a time, bro. Yeah, Josh McDaniel could have made a bad call in the beginning of the game that have changed the call a trick play. He's an idiot. You're not running the ball. But then when he starts calling the right plays, when the quarterback is not seeing the whole field, or when the quarterback is throwing helium balls, they have to say, yo, look, man, this ain't the guy. We have to change course. I think when they came here, like Graphk said, I said, we've all said this. When they came here, they said, man, you know what? Gruden and them, they had Carr. We think there's a lot to work with. We see the numbers. We can get him on the right trajectory if. And when if didn't happen, they left themselves a trap door to get out. And I have no problem with that. And I know that there's a plan because these guys know how to win. They know what winning looks like. The problem is with these guys is they're not players, coaches. So you got to be the right archetype to play under authoritative coaches. Yeah. Even the great Bill Parcells, you had to earn that. it was to the point where Bill Parcells was going to run Lawrence Taylor out of New York. Lawrence Taylor said, "Listen, man, I can't play like this, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Either cut me, trade me, whatever, but I can't play like this." Mm-hmm. And Bill Parcells had to realize, okay, this is Lawrence fucking Taylor here. Sorry, LT. I'm sorry, LT. And he let him play. And I've heard LT tell the story a lot. It's hard to play for a taskmaster coach. And I think a lot of these young players in today's football are fucking soft. They're fucking soft. And Josh McDaniels has been around a guy who's an old school caveman coach. He's the oldest coach in the National Football League. He's one of the greatest ones of all time. And that's how he saw it done. And there's nothing wrong with that old school approach. I just hope that they get what they need, because you know what? Next year, I'm not going to be so left-brained about this. Yes. Neither is Graphk, neither is Hammer, neither is the rest of the nation.
No. There better be some hefty improvement, bro. Like I'm not look, if we win 3 games this year, 4 games this year, cool. If we come out and win 6 next year, I'm not happy at all. Like I don't want to do the Gruden thing where you go from 4 wins to like 5 wins to 7 wins.
No, not the incremental improvement.
To 10 wins, and then every year we're like, well, I mean, realistically, he's getting better. Nah, bro. We can't do that. Like, no, I'm not doing that shit. This thing needs to get right. Like the ship needs to get right, like immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like
the Cincinnati Bengals trajectory.
Yes.
We need Zach Taylor. Oh, he's terrible. We got to get him out of here. To oh shit, we in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Yep.
We don't need the incremental bullshit, bro.
Straight up. Shout out to everybody here in the building, man. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Built Different. We'll be back soon, you guys. I want to do a health and wealth segment, man. I don't know for y'all. I'm 38. I know my brother Waste is, 40. Hammer's around my age, damn near. You know what I'm saying? Like I went and got my annual checkup today, and I realized there's some things that I need to do to get my health together. I thought maybe we can do a Build Different segment where we could talk about mental health, talk about physical health, fitness, all that good shit. I think that'd be a good segment, man, because I know a lot of people in the chat, are fighting. It could be eating the wrong shit, not working out, being lazy. Bruh, I learned a lot today just by talking to my doctor for 30 minutes. For real. And I think it'd be a good talk to have. Money L want to come on and talk. He's been doing this thing in the gym like crazy. So I think that'd be a cool little segment, man. With that being said, you guys, Hammer, when's your next show, brother?
Tomorrow. We got the matchup preview.
Matchup preview tomorrow, you guys. Hammer is definitely better than me because I am not touching any of that. I will not talk about the Broncos matchup at all. So, but with that being said, Wasty, you gonna be back tomorrow? You got something going for the nation?
I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that's for sure is nothing for sure, bro. That's the only thing that's for sure, man. Listen, I talked to Coach Gruden today. He had a tip for your health. Masturbation.
Hey, that definitely plays a part in this shit.
Skate. Yeah.
With that being said, man, nation, we love you guys, man. Wipe them feet on the way out and masturbate. We out. Wow.